We got 5 Spirit Orbs. Let's see what we get, chat. Get a little bit of pack opening when it's not a season end. Ooh, legendary. Forgo's luck rubbed off on us. All right, all right. So there is a healing deck. It's about as irritating as you might think. Actually, that's the second... Because the second Lionar champion, I think it was like heal something for 3? If I recall correctly. And then obviously there's a bunch of things that trigger. This one actually wasn't that good. Although I think its stats are different now. I think it used to be like a 3-2. Oh, Prismatic Illusionist. These decks were super annoying. The Illusionist decks. Open 14 Spirit Orbs and didn't get the animation for some reason. Weird. That's weird. All right, let's see. Ooh, Illic Stormblade. So, provoke, obviously strong. Allies can move an additional space. As you'd imagine if in Phobies you put a Phobie on the board and it turned everything into snowballs. Seems good, right? Seems okay. And truthfully, I could see Phobies doing something like that at some point. Yeah, AoE paddles, basically. And it's perma paddles. It's not just once, it's perma paddles. Alright, we didn't get any legendaries this time, but let's see what we crack. Natural Selection, Scavenger, Blood Tier Alchemist. Another Fireblaze. So notably, this is different from the other structure that we saw earlier in the starter deck. The other one cost 2, also was 0/6, also had Gateway, but it was just blank. This gives all your dervishes +1/+0. There's another one that gives them +0/+1. Or there was anyway. And I think there was one more that did something else weird. And then we got a Glacial Elemental. So there is a Vesper tribe in the Vanar Kindred, which is the Arctic faction. And when you summon a Vesper, it deals 2 damage to a random enemy minion. There's a Hearthstone minion from the base set that was basically this. I don't remember what it was. I think, well, this is kind of like Knife Juggler, I guess. But it can't go face. It has to be an enemy minion. Also notably, that's cool, is this game does have an open all orbs. It's not good for pack openings. Nobody will want to watch that. But I love it because I hate opening packs. I might do a pack cracking video if I put in money. So we get Grimrock, another Grow. There is a Grow deck. I don't remember it being very good. We'll see if it is now. Azurite Lion. Celerity, pretty good. And, ooh, we get one of the Grandmasters. So these are like mini generals. There was one for each faction. They aren't, I mean, this one literally becomes your general, but each of them did really bonkers things. I don't know if they brought them all back. But Grandmaster Zir, when your general is destroyed, this becomes your general. So think of it as a master hero for WoW players or Hearthstone players, I guess. This is a really cool one. We might have to play Lionar at the start, which is going to make me a little sad, but... Like I said, I may do a pack opening video if I get one of the big things. If you go into your collection, though, it'll say new next to everything that you got. So if you've cleared all that out from before, you'll be able to go look at it quickly. Per the usual, when you start the game, they stuff your face with the orbs to get you hooked. Yes. And I'm curious, because I'll have to go look through the collection. I don't know how many of... Because they had multiple expansions. How many of the expansion cards are there? Ooh, Ephemeral Shroud. This is relevant. So there are dispel effects in this game, as you can see. So it will remove buffs, debuffs, that sort of thing. It also cleanses the space, which is relevant for things that put, again, like creep. If Phobies players think if you had a Phobie, like Doom, where it can just clear the trap out, that sort of thing. Mirage Master. I was never really a fan of this thing, but it is a cool ability. Kinetic Equilibrium. Also not great, but still fun. All right, we get a couple of epics out of this. We did pretty good in our early packs, chat. Second Son? All right. So Zeal, again, you have to be near your general, and it gets +8. It becomes an 8/8. And then Celestial Phantom. After this damages an enemy minion, destroy that minion. So here's the... the cool thing with this. You can give it ranged under certain circumstances, or obviously you can teleport it. And then you can just destroy them. I don't know if it gets counterattacked. I'm like 90% sure it does, but the high hand, this could hypothetically have worked in those Starhorn decks. I don't remember if I played it, but I also don't know if that hero powers are even a thing anymore. I'll have to check in their Discord and see. Because otherwise, as pointed out earlier, these are basically just skins of each other then. They have a different attack animations, as you can see here, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Although, as far as I know, like, unless you know... Ah, here we go. Okay. It's this simple. It's just the... I thought this was just an icon, but you can click on it. Ah, so here are all the other cards, too. You can see the other sets. So, these are the Bloodbound spells. You can only activate them on certain turns, and then past turn 9, I think it was, you can activate them every turn. So, this guy gives +2, this summons a provoke minion, this restores health, and each of them had something that pushes them towards, well, this is, you know, how you're supposed to play this deck. They have access to all the cards of the faction and the neutral cards. 9 mana, not turn 9, fair. It's been a little while, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm not 100% accurate on it. But each of these were really fun. I liked the way that they did it. That's why I kind of miss... And you can see here, these are the ones I was quoting earlier about Lilith and Cassio. I couldn't remember Dave's. Oh, yeah. This is self-destroy here. Starhorn was the one that I was mentioning that was like the Howling Mind deck, basically. If you played the Kami of the Crescent Moons deck back with Ravnica 1... this may be your deck. It's not quite the same, but, you know. Imagine Battle Bond with those 28 HP things. Battle Bond, like I said, was one of the more frustrating cards, because it felt like, oops, I'm dead. And yes, if you're playing properly, you play around the assumption of, like, okay, well, they played a Battle Bond earlier in the game. I know they only have so many left, so what are the odds that they have it on this turn, that sort of thing, or trying to do the math. But at the end of the day, what frustrates me is, like, if they have it or they don't. And if they have it, you lose. But I'm forced into a certain line because this is the optimal play. And I'm just rolling the dice. Those sort of plays always frustrated me. But that exists in basically every card game. Like, that's always there. So... just keep going with Magmar for now. So we're playing the regular ladder. And we got into a game so fast. Ooh. Oh, we start off with this guy? The Elucidator? I forgot. Huh. I think they did an interesting mix with the factions of, if you're coming from other card games, Magic, WoW, whatever, you understand a lot of the principles from Mana Curve and card advantage and these sort of things. And you'll notice comparisons between, oh, well, I have this card, so it's similar to this other thing in this other game. That makes this faction like that other faction. But it's not quite the same. They all kind of interact in slightly different ways. So this damaged me, but I get Rush, and I immediately remove that thing. I'm going to leave it here so that it body blocks. That's why I didn't move it up. It might have been better to save it, because removing that thing is, like, that's not a worthwhile minion. This thing is way better than that. We're going to lose it to just them face punching it, unless they make... I don't know why they wouldn't, basically. But it does remove their board presence. It prevents them from doing stuff that I don't want them to do. 4. So you can natural selection your own stuff. For obvious reasons, you generally don't want to do that, but we go F5. So 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Um, so they do have this staff. They are going to get another shot out of it, unfortunately. But we did draw Adamantite Claws, so we will have... Wow, this changed a lot. Your general has +3/+0. This cannot lose durability during your turn. This used to be just +6/+0. That is intensely unfortunate. Because we were going to be able to one-shot it with this. We can no longer do that. Oh, that's 6/8. Could do this here. I think we're going to do this. Just wait. I don't know what... I should have looked at the starter decks, but I don't know what they can do that has Rush. Or, you know, they can blow me out kind of thing. Because, like, that just trades. I don't think you wanted to do that. Unless you were going to run away. Tropic Decay. Got him! Got yourself an Obelisk. You also have yourself a dead general. GG. It's that simple, chat. Oh, you do get everything. That seems really weird. I'm honestly surprised by this, that you get everything, because while I understand that there was a huge contingent of players that wanted Draw 2 to stay, I think there are a lot of people that would enjoy this mode, and once they discover it, like... So Legacy is just playing the game like if you had everything? Not quite, because there are rules differences. You don't draw 2, you draw 1. And the Bloodbound spells are here. And there are cards that are different. So, for example, we just looked at Adamantite Claws. Well, apparently it was only +4 attack. I thought it was +6. But it was... In the other mode, it's +3, and on your turn, it doesn't lose durability. So the cards are different between the two modes, is the bottom line. But I'm a little surprised that they are giving you all the cards here. Granted, some of them don't exist in the other mode, like this thing. That literally doesn't exist in the other mode. But it seems weird to give somebody a full game like this and say, hey, you can play this, or you could give us money to play the other part of the game. It seems counterintuitive from a business perspective. Don't get me wrong, I love it because I still enjoyed the old game, and I'd happily still play it, even if it means playing Battle Pet decks. Spoiler alert, most of the Battle Pets are bad. Maybe it isn't about the money. At the end of the day, they need to make money, though. Like... And maybe the cosmetics will be enough. So, like, let's assume for the moment, phobies, but you can use everything in frenemies. Kinda, yeah. That's basically what it is, Doge. And I wonder how many people will play it. I'm very curious to see how it works out long term, because I really liked the old game. I didn't hate the move to draw 1. Would I have preferred to keep draw 2? Sure, but... I liked the things that were introduced. I didn't hate things like the battle pets and stuff like that nearly as much as many other people did. The battle pets, for people that are unsure, because this is a common thing that will come up, they are literally called battle pets, like Fizz here. You can't control them. They literally act on their own. The very first thing on your turn is you get your mana, your battle pets act. So they will advance towards the... they all had different rules, and I forget what they were. And SRN's saying it. They weren't random. I mean, one of them may have random on it. I don't remember. But they all had specific behavior that I will do. So in comparing it to phobies, think about before the devs clarified how boops and yoinks worked. We were trying to figure it out as a community, and we had all these theories. Eventually, the battle pets were way simpler as far as their behavior, so people figured it out very quickly. And they always act in the same manner, so you knew what they were going to do. But people hated it because, as SRN is pointing out, a lot of people called it RNG, which I don't believe was the case. I could be wrong, and maybe I'm misremembering, and they did act completely randomly, but I don't think that was the case. But there were a number of effects that, similar to battle pets, and also this word, random, that people really disliked. It was never anywhere near as close or anything even remotely resembling Hearthstone. There are, as you can see, a lot of cards that literally feature the word random. However, most of it, if not all of it, could be controlled. Now, there were things like Klaxon, where it's random spaces. It's a 9x5 board. There are a lot of spaces. But if I recall correctly, if there were spaces that already had shadow creep, it couldn't do it. People really hated more things like Reaper of the Nine Moons, where it's summoning a random minion from their deck, and it's like, well, if you get my 1-drop, I'm fine. If you get my 8-drop, I'm hosed. You love random? A lot of people do. And truthfully, I think it's fine in general. I hate it. Personally, I hate it. And things like that really annoyed me. There are random effects where, so for example, this thing, Horror Burster. Transform a random friendly minion when it dies into a 6/6. Here's the thing. If you, I love random slots. Horror Burster, you can control to a degree. So if you trade out your minions, or you set up your board so that the only thing that it can hit are things that you want it to hit, okay. And there are a lot of random, maybe this isn't the best example, but there are effects that work that way. Or there are ones where it's, for the most part, it doesn't matter. And yes, there are, so like Bloodtide Priestess, summon a Wraithling on a random nearby space. So it's the 8 spaces around it. You can control that, but even if it's completely random, most of the time it's the same. There will be edge cases where it's better or worse. Yes, I understand that. I can live with those randoms. It really frustrates me in obvious scenarios. But when it's completely random and uncontrollable, you cannot influence it. Those are the things where those are the Ben Brode effects where it's just like, that's just so wild. And it's like, no, that sucks. Personally, I'm glad random cards were never competitive. I take it you didn't play against too many Reaper of the Nine Moons then, because that was 100% competitive, and that's a random card. This is one that I absolutely remember people, like, losing their shit over. Because it could absolutely define a game. Now, I agree, for the most part, a lot of the random ones were not good, but it wasn't entirely true. There were things that, like, Gold Vitriol, that was playable. That was tournament feasible. I absolutely saw, what's her name? Zeron Sunforge as tournament decks before. And that is a reasonable thing to run in her. You could hypothetically run it in the others, I guess, but I don't think you're featuring enough healing, but you get the idea. The truly random ones, like the one where it was summon 3 random battle pets to your battle bar, yeah, that wasn't getting played. And I agree, I'm glad that those weren't all that playable. I personally, as you've heard me say with many games, chat, people will blow things out of proportion. The internet just does those sort of things. And in these particular cases, I think the game was fine. Was it worse for having draw 1 instead of draw 2? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know, truthfully, because we didn't play draw 2 that I recall with Bloodbound spells and those sort of things. I'm pretty sure the Bloodbound spells were introduced to help compensate for the lack of the extra draw. I understand the previous devs' opinions. I wasn't in the room designing cards with them, But I'd like to believe that it would, because here's the thing. I'd like to believe that you could still continue the game with Draw 2 and the Bloodbound spells and all of their other ideas, and it would be fine. However, I think that there's a risk that it would not have been commercially viable, which, as we were just saying, is a concern. And I'm curious how this is going to do, because at the end of the day, in order to keep the servers live, in order to keep generating cards, in order to, keep the corporate overlords happy, whoever that happens to be, I don't even know if there are any, but, you can only do so much when it's for the love of the game, especially on a project as ambitious as something like Duelyst. Imagine starting a trading card game, which admittedly you can't trade in this, but basically picture, I'm going to introduce a competitor to Magic or Pokemon, but I'm going to make no money off of it. How long exactly do you think I'm going to be able to sustain that? Even assuming it's a great game, it has tons of people who love it, and it's doing well. Like, people are playing it. I can only, and when I say I, obviously not me, but hypothetical person, sustain that for so long before reality sets in and, I have to work a real job. And then people are going to be like, well, are you ever going to release new cards? Well, what about these balance fixes? Well, what about this? What about that? How about these things? And real life has responsibilities. So they got to make money. And in this case, we're talking about also there are actual costs. I mean, there are always costs, but you got to keep the servers running. When I say keep the lights on, that's almost very literal. And I mean, depending on how you want to look at it, it is literal. So I'm very curious what they want to do, how they want to do it. As I said, I'm very surprised that they introduced this particular segment of it. But I really miss this game, and I really enjoyed playing it before. I'm going to have a lot of fun rediscovering things and coming back to a lot of stuff. I'm going to enjoy exploring the new version of the game. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool. You just got Keeper of the Vale. That's a great example of a card that people hated. That is a card that absolutely sent people over the edge. Because again, random. That text is way different than the new one. Yeah, the old one. And here's the even funnier part. This used to be a 4/5. It was even better. It got nerfed. And as you can imagine, depending on the random minion that you get, and you could control the random for this, which is one of the cool parts, is because, okay, well, I'm playing a control deck. I'll play a medium to big threat. They kill it. Keeper of the Vale, get it back. Then every keeper from there on is either going to get keeper or that thing. It's really good. It's really good. It's a 4-mana 3/4 well, we can look at it. We just switch to the to Duelyst 2. Put a 1-cost 1/1 copy of another allied minion into your action bar. I'm curious if it has to be out or if you can copy something from your hand. Play this the second after your best minion dies. Exactly, Forgo. That's how it used to work. Now you have to proactively play it. You can't let the thing die. And of course, you want to target things that have splashy text boxes, which is, honestly, I don't have a problem with this version. Allied means in play? Okay. I figured that was the case, but thank you. Because that makes sense, given how this works. I don't have a problem with the version of this card. I think it's really good. I think this is really cool. When I say good, from a design perspective, I have no idea in the modern context, is this card good? You have to take my opinions with a grain of salt when I say something like that. I'm going off of memory from 6 or 7 years ago for the old stuff. And some of the cards look like they got modified slightly towards the end of the game that I don't recall. And then comparing it to something new with wildly different expectations. So we're all over the place. But this Keeper looks good from a design perspective and seems like it could be very good just based on card gaming experience in general. So that's Duelyst, chat. That's Duelyst. I really loved this game. This was my first favorite digital card game. I discovered this game after the WoW TCG died and was one of the first games that I really got attached to after that and really got me back into. I never stopped playing card games, but I started to, like I wasn't looking at other games as much, new games that came out. I was not going to play Magic. WoW was dead, so I was really just playing that. This really got me back into it and got me excited about playing card games again. Seem pretty hype on Duelyst, so if that brings you joy, do Duelyst. Whatever sparks joy, right? Duelyst Pog. I do want to play more Duelyst. The question is whether I will play it on stream or whether I'll just produce YouTube videos for it. I will probably pull down the stream, chop it up, and then put it on YouTube. I'll probably try and do a what's a Duelyst video as well at some point. See, like, this is interesting. Unless they have a 1 cost, like, there's no reason to do this. Also, this card sucks. Phalanxer is horrendous. Oh, they do have a 1 cost. They ripped the Planar Scout. That's actually a real pain in the nuts. Alright, so we clearly kill the Scout. So, we could play this thing, but I think this is better. We just don't want it there because we don't want it to die. So the annoying thing about the Scout is that they're going to also get this Mana Orb. If they have Demonic Lore, this thing just dies for free because they're going to whip it and whip it good. Also, the music. I don't remember there being music in the game unless I had it turned off. Doesn't this kind of sound like not 8-bit Mega Man, chat? Like, what do you think? Or Street Fighter theme? Even though it's the same riff over and over again. Okay, never mind, it changed. Oh, we got a Golem, I didn't realize. We got Bright Moss Golem. Big old booty. Oh no! Saber Spine Tiger! Not like this. I mean, you can't kill it. Wait, are you really gonna just play it to play it? That can't be right. What are you attacking? Okay. Well, I live. I don't get to grow big enough for it to matter, though. That's part of the problem. 3-cost Saber Spine, pretty sure it was nerfed to 4. Yeah, but wasn't it also bigger previously? I don't remember. Actually, we could use that next turn. So if we... I want to preserve this for one more turn, if I can. That's pseudo removal. This will protect it in the event of another Saber Spine. We could natural selection, but I want to clear this thing and save the natural selection for something more relevant. I remember it being something other than a 3-2 briefly, though, wasn't it? And I agree, I'm pretty sure it was nerfed to 4. Which is stunning. Because wasn't there a time, there absolutely was a time where there was, like, Saber Spine OTK running around like crazy because it worked in, you could just buff it to all hell and then just blow your opponent up. Because I thought it was like a 4-2 or a 4-1 or something like that at one point. Again, I could be completely wrong, so I'm, it's fine. But I agree, I'm pretty sure it was nerfed to 4 at some stage. I think I still might have the Duelyst assets from way back when. They used to have a media kit. Like I said earlier, if you go to my website, I have an article up there about what's a Duelyst, basically, from way back when. I should go reread it and maybe rewrite it. One thing I would like them to add that was a nice quality of life feature that I noticed in Phobies is that this is always present. I know there were mods at one point to have this bar always be present, so you always know how much time is left in your turn. Maybe not exactly, but, you know, you have an idea. You kill this. Should have done that first, but whatever. Play Big Fatty. He's got a big butt. Right Moss Golem is thick. Get it? Because he's also a golem, so he's made of rock. Rock can be very thick. Technically, you could be a golem made out of a variety of things. Was there a bone golem in this? I feel like there was. God, I'm so excited about this game. I really am. I really am. I think this is gonna, like, Phobies players, I think this would be something that would be interested in. I think Duelyst players should take a look at Phobies. We didn't get, like, a ton of value, so what are you gonna lure it? Oh, Repulsor Beast? They have to have the lure. Why wouldn't they do it to this? Wait, really? That can't possibly be correct. That cannot possibly be the right play. We're just gonna beat their face in. This is what Voth does. He just goes Hulk smash and just punt. Yep. There you go. GG. Got him, chat. 2-0. You can also, this is something cool. You can tip people gold. You can tip people gold in this game. So if you really felt like it was a good game, you can tip them. Which, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit up the links in the description. Come by the live stream or the Discord. A lot of people are talking Phobies in other games, but I get the sense there's going to be a lot of Duelyst talk as well. It's going to be a lot of Duelyst talk. Let's jump back in there, chat. Let's jump back in there. Magmar. Magmar. I don't like this thing. I think at one point it was a 2-3. Probably wasn't even good then. Probably should have sent that back in, but it at least gives us another play next turn guaranteed. Well, actually, we're going to have a guaranteed play next turn anyway. I don't think there's any way they can prevent this from getting this mana orb. I guess hypothetically they could. Oh, no problem, Forgo. I didn't know if you actually wanted it spoiled or not, so my bad if you didn't. So, depending on where this goes, yeah, they could hypothetically get at this. I should have put it back here before I move my general, but this also gives us the advantage of, you know, actually being able to get into the fight sometime this century. The grow minions are always fun, like, to look at, and they were cool, but they weren't very good for the most part. It's just a slow mechanic. So chat, you'll have to let me know who else is planning on starting Duelyst. I know there's a few people that said they were going to. If you want, I can create a channel in Discord so that way we have a defined place to discuss it. All right, so we got a Starfire Scarab. That is problematic. I don't really have a good way to deal with it. We have a Show Me Natural Selection. No. Womp womp. All right, this Phalanxer, I don't know, I already want to customize the deck. It's not letting me use my custom deck, so they require something. I'll check after this game, I haven't tried yet. Shouldn't. Should just be able to build it. And run it. It is a beta, so, I mean, there are things that could happen, right? Oh, natural selection wouldn't even work because we're not going to get our stuff killed. This is bad. Kinda awkward. Are you going to kill it? You are not. Should have sent this back because I'm never going to play it. The Elucidator can be played whenever. They still have 6 cards in hand. There's a lot of dangerous things that could happen here. But again, I don't know if we're playing against starter decks or if we're playing against regular decks or what. I assume just starter decks at this stage. We're in bronze and the game just released like 2 days ago. That is, in fact, a staff. In a very high damage game here. So 5, 7, 10, 14. You're dead on board. I guess they just miscounted. I mean, they'd be dead anyway. Oh, this thing breathes fire. How cool is that? Got him. GG. This deck is not good. But we're still going to play it. Still going to play it. Yeah, the game, I don't think, tells you that it's a 40-card minimum. It'll display it in the, like, deck building screen. There'll be an exclamation point on it, but that's not... It's not enough, in my opinion. Natural selection is actually kind of bad in this matchup. Maybe I should have kept that, because I could Repulsor Beast just as the body, cap a mana tile, and then... Yeah, or I could have just done it with this. Yeah, this was kind of silly. I don't know why this is highlighted like I can play it. My curve is a little jacked up, chat. By a little, I mean a lot. Ugh. Oh, baby. That guy's absolutely getting natural selection. That guy's getting natural selection right now. Get out of here. I think I want the board presence more than another card right now. So the Frostbone Naga is actually going to be very good, and so is the Plasma Storm. Like, you can kind of blow out Abyssian Swarm decks as Magmar. Now, admittedly, Lionar can do it too, with whatever the AoE deal 4 thing is, and then there's a deal 2 to the whole board. Alright, that's a Demonic Lore. You can tell by what the... Oh, it's Repulsor Beast. Never mind. So notably, this will survive the Plasma Storm, which is interesting. I don't want to use it yet. Oh, maybe we punch and then Plasma Storm. I think this is more reasonable. So that breaks their artifact, and I don't have to worry about it. And then... how are we going to deal with the big thing? We need the Repulsor Beast. If they play multiple small things, we'll Plasma Storm. Like, all of these are reasonable plays on the next turn. But we possibly should have gotten rid of the Golem and maybe just rely on the Claws. Oh my god, Vorpal Reaver, really? That thing's gotta get Repulsor Beast. Beasted. I guess we can just kill it. We run this in, and then we Plasma. So... what if we... because we're not advancing our board if I don't Repulsor Beast. Could have 8 mana. I think we're going to go with the Repulsor Beast plan. So this thing will be able to get, like, right back in our face, but we can Repulsor Beast again. We're absolutely not playing the Golem this game now. Oh, no! There goes our whole offense. I mean, we can still kill them out of hand with the Elucidator, unless they body block or something. So if they move back and body block, we're going to be stymied, but... actually, we'll be at... no, we won't, because we can Repulsor Beast the blocker out of the way. Yeet is right. It's funny, because that wasn't a word. Oh, I mean, I'm sure it was a word then, but it wasn't as nearly as common the last time this game was around. Abyssal Juggernaut. I think this was also a 3/3 baseline before. But since you don't have the hero power to nuke things, it's a little weird. Alright, so we do in fact have 7, which means we can do this. Eat you to the other end of the board. Elucidator. Get him. GG. You kind of want to challenge me? I mean, you can. You know how. I mean, if you're going to, I'll wait a second so you can do it. Oh, we got a pack. Just open up 5 packs, got 2 legendaries, 3 epics, and like 10 rares. I feel like Duelyst numbers, and I don't know if they're publicly posted, but they were way more generous than other games previously. I don't know if that's still the case. Ooh, we got an epic. Chaos Elemental. Lol. Snowpiercer got changed. That got changed. I'm pretty sure this is just like +4/+0. Crystal Wisp is kind of a big deal. This used to be a 1/1. Golem Vanguard. We might be building tribal golems in the near future, chat. Climbing with tribal golems? Now that's something for YouTube. Battle in the Bronze, tribal golems. Mobile is not out yet. Maybe advertising client to a couple of mobile few gamers. We're hiring devs for mobile/clients later, so it sounds like they are planning on doing it, but it's not there yet. All right, here we go. Vanilla 7.2 seems abysmal, dies to everything. You would be accurate. It is not good. It's real bad. I love the intros, chat. They sound so cool. We are timeless. Remember you. We'll mulligan this. I don't think that's going to help us much in this matchup. This is not a bad opener. I don't hate this. I don't think there's any way that Vitruvian can kill this on one, and this deters potential or drives obelisk positioning. This game just feels like it can be played in phone. It probably could. I don't remember if it was on mobile the original time around. Yeah, it's definitely a fun game, Onda. If you get the chance, I would recommend it. Give it a whirl. Should have replaced first, but you know, whatever. We're just going face. The pressure is on. Pressure is on, Forgo. A little body blockage going. A little body block happening. And bad news for you, though. We're just going to provoke right in your face. The eggs are safe. Shield of the Primus. What is this? What is the Shield of the Primus buff that is... Oh, this! This has another effect now. At the end of your turn, given nearby friendly minions +0/+1. Wow, I didn't know that was a thing. All right, I learned something today. Wait, what did you just do? Oh, Second Wish? Okay. That also has a new effect. It used to just draw 2. I see your staff, and I raise you another set of claws. Get punched. Yeah, I imagine that they went for this platform first, simply because of ease of development, probably. But I obviously don't know for sure. Oh no! You actually helped me, Forgo. I would have gotten there anyway, but GG. GG! Got him. What do we get in this pack? The Spirit Orb. Ooh, we get another epic, chat. Yet another epic. Get a Gravity Well. All right, so this displays the wall mechanic, or assuming they kept it the same. That was quick. I also didn't make a custom deck for that yet. That's fair. The card games feel... I mean, they're just quicker than Phobe's games. You got an orb just by playing a friend game? Yes, it's presumably like a hidden quest kind of thing. I mean, I doubt they're going to give you one every time, for obvious reasons. But whoever said it earlier was absolutely right. The game, and many of them are structured so that you get a lot of stuff up front. So it's like, oh, I can get all this cool stuff. I mean, Phobe's was like that. it said achievement, then there you go. You can also do this, but there are game replays. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. You can watch all the, like, I'm sure there's S-rank people. Oh, there's no S-rank games yet. Like, we'll watch this random game. Yep, that's them. All right, chat. So I'm going to close up shop. Appreciate everybody coming out for Variety Night. We will be playing more Pokemon in the future. I got to figure out how I'm going to juggle Duelyst and Pokemon and a bunch of the other games. I think I've come to the conclusion I'm going to play Choo Choo Charles offline and then just record it. And, you know, that way I can just kind of have fun with it. And I don't have to worry about trying to stress with squeezing it into any of the given streaming days that are limited. But that's going to do it for tonight. And that's about it. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.